From the liberal Northeast comes a lone voice of truth. Honest commentary in dishonest times. Think deeper with Juan Newsom. This is the Cure Radio Program. This is the Cure.
Juan Newsom Cure Radio Show. I'm here with Kat from Kathy Talk, and we know what's on the docket next. Georgia, your state, has opened up.
Yes, indeed it has. It has opened up to controversy because you got the first governor, who happens to be a Republican governor, but you have the first governor to kind of seems like he skips over all the phases and goes straight to we just need to open right now. Mm-hmm. In 2 weeks we'll be good.
He's trying to make sure that the economy doesn't collapse. Texas is the same. Texas, they're opening up to Florida, Ron DeSantis. You know, these economies were growing significantly before this pandemic thing set in. So you're going to see a lot of red state governors, places that are rural, that have a lot of rural land. They're going to open up. You know, South Dakota, she didn't close, for example.
Exactly. Well, that's the point also in Georgia. Like, the state parks didn't close. Yeah. Daycares and things closed really late. Later than anyone else. And a lot of businesses are still running. They're just running in a different way. So what's the difference if you could walk through a Target and shop all day long, or than walking through any other store? You know what I mean? Clothing stores are shut down. Why? That doesn't really make any sense. If you can go to Target and buy clothes, what's the difference? Yeah. So, and the other thing is, people are observing social distancing, and people definitely are wearing the masks, even though we could talk about the mask later and the effectiveness of the mask. But if it makes you feel good and it makes you more confident in being able to be out and be like a normal human being, then you should wear the masks. But if you look at the numbers of Georgia, right? I want to give you numbers. They had, I think, today 800 and something people. 250 to 300 of those people are in nursing homes over the age of 71. If you look at the breakdown, which I do in my state. So the actual, those are people who are confined to nursing homes. They don't go out shopping. Yep. They're as social distant as they can possibly be, aside from whoever their caretakers are and their families. So if you think about it, 500 people in the state of Georgia, of 10 million people, 500 people were have succumbed to the virus. And for that, we've shut down the entire economy in Georgia. It doesn't make any sense. You can open responsibly, and people are still afraid, so they're going to stay away from each other. It's not like you're going to go running and hugging up. We're not going partying in the bars and stuff. But I want to be able to walk around like a normal human being without having the Kellys and the Karens in the neighborhood snickering or looking some kind of sideways because, I choose to take a walk. You know what I'm saying?
I think the problem with this, because Governor Kemp is getting a lot of flack, and this media, they're so New York and DC centric. They're like, not everything is New York and DC. You guys need to kind of travel, or LA or San Francisco. You guys need to really kind of travel out and get into the middle of the country and see how other people are living.
Absolutely. Well, if you even think about it, right, the Surgeon General was on, and they asked him specifically, are you going to require people to wear masks? Are you going to require, the safety equipment and stuff like that? to get back into work or to get back into whatever. And he said, if wearing a mask gives you confidence, security, not actual protection, only confidence, because they said initially the way to beat this is to wash your hands and not touch your face so that the germs can't get in your mouth, your nose, or your eyeballs, right? So let's say you are 6 feet away from whoever or whatever, and you have your mask on and you have gloves on and somebody sneezes, but you don't have glasses on. So now what? Everybody has to walk out with a helmet? How extreme are we going to be getting here? And the other thing is, they found that most people were being infected by the other people in their homes, people who they shared an extended time with. So you're not getting it typically from someone walking past you in the street. You're getting it from the people who are in your own home or in your own area that you're constantly in, if it's a workplace. So it's like, now that we know these things, why can't we just modify our behaviors, wash your hands more often, take, like cleaning wipes? Why can't you just do basic hygiene stuff?
Yeah.
Why do you have to do shelter in place and cram people into their homes and then scare them into staying there? I can't tell you how many videos I've seen with people saying, this is a trick. They're trying to get you to come out of your house so that then you could really get the virus. Like the first virus wasn't the bad virus. It's the second virus that's the bad virus. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? That's crazy. The first virus isn't as deadly as they even said it was going to be. So what data are we looking at? Like, what numbers are we looking at? Like, this don't make no sense.
That's crazy.
The actual what's happening to the number of deaths, the death rate, doesn't equate to the reaction that we're having by sitting in our houses, being scared, or told to be scared anyways.
Wow. Yeah. I get tired of hearing about, I get leery of any, whether it's a politician or a news reporter, especially in those White House press briefings. Anyone who questions on whether or not we should open the economy back up, it's just, we're not going to survive without the economy. Like, at some point, we have to get to the point where, and typically quarantine is used for the sick or people who are in danger of being sick, not healthy people. Right. So, we got to get to the point where everybody gets to go back to, people that are not at risk can go back to work, and people that are at risk, the elderly, people with underlying conditions, will probably have to stay home. Like, it's just that's just really a common sense way to do it.
The common sense way. You want them to have that too, but that doesn't fit into the scare tactics narrative. I mean, if you just think about it, right? Everybody was on top of each other, like places like New York, whatever. Everybody was at the beach, at the store. You didn't think twice about it until about 2,000 people died. Once it got to about 1,500 to 2,000 people, then everybody was like, oh, people are actually dying from this. They didn't tell you that the majority of the numbers were coming from nursing homes. They didn't tell you that the majority of people were people who were sick. They were just telling you, people are dying. Look at the numbers. Boom, it's ticking up. Another 100, another 100, another 100. Meanwhile, what, 30% is based in New York and New Jersey?
Yeah.
2 people, 2 places in the whole United States?
Yeah.
The majority of the people are there. And that in and of itself should definitely be studied on why living in those kinds of environments and, all the factors that go into the demographics of these particular cities in this area, why they have an increased rate. We talked about it before, but aside from just being overpopulated and overcrowded, like what else about the population of New York or the medical, the health situation over there, like the medical condition of people who live in the city, like y'all don't got no immune system, even young people, old people, those are the things that need to be investigated.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, Kat, and I saw a post today we were talking about lockdowns and how they're ineffective, and I saw a post on Real Clear Politics. The Swedish epidemiologist Johan Geske, and he was basically breaking it down on how the lockdowns are not working, and what you're just echoing, the lockdowns, how, most people are getting, this virus from their family members. He basically stated, and I'm reading I have the post up now. The correct policy is to protect the old and the frail only.
Right.
They're citing all of these studies. I really think, this whole lockdown thing, especially from the left, they're just using it to see how far they can go. Like the governor of Michigan. She just keeps pushing button after button after button. I really just think at this point they're just addicted to the power.
Yes. Yes. And the money that it'll bring to their states too. Because now Cuomo was saying how New York City debt should be forgiven. Why? You racked up those bills. So now the rest of the country got to pay for it because, one, you can't protect the people in your own state. You can't prioritize whether you want, new technology or face masks, ventilators, and all the rest of the healthcare that you were missing. You know what I mean? Like, people are seeing Cuomo as a savior, and it's like the most twisted concept of who is really helping. It's like rewarding the guy, rewarding the arson for putting out the fire that he set. Like,
yeah. Well, the thing is, Trump's the only guy that was doing any damn thing about this crisis. Cuomo has a press conference, and the press, they ask him really good questions, and it seems to be a good, productive conference. Trump goes in, he has a press conference, and the press are acting like jackasses.
It's combat.
For 2 hours, they're just like going at him. It's crazy.
It's so funny. The thing is that he's so good when he counters them that all they could do is make shit up on their reporting. Like, look at how he attacks this CBS reporter. Actually, she's the one who kept going in at him, and he finally had to tell her, like, relax, I'm gonna answer your question. He tells a woman to relax. Yeah, I would have told her, shut the fuck up and let me answer your damn question. Like, chill out, lady, chill out. Somebody get her a pill. She bugging.
I know. I think it was Kellyanne the other day, and there was one reporter, and I guess the reporter has been notoriously rude to the president for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And Kellyanne just kind of checked her. She said, I don't know what happened to you. I'm like, oh my God.
You know how life has treated you some kind of way?
Yeah, I don't know what happened to you, but I'm going to answer your question anyway. I said,
listen, Angel Rivera is asking, who is more communist, Cuomo or de Blasio? For me, that's an easy answer.
Oh, de Blasio, easy.
Yeah, for sure. 1,000%. But he's like a joke communist. You know what I mean? Like, nobody takes him serious.
Who?
De Blasio. That's why he
should
get like 0.5% when he was trying to run for president. And now he's like, let's do a 4th of July celebration. Everybody's like, Dude, you got 14,000 people dead in your freaking city. Like, what are you talking about 4th of July for? Like, control the situation at hand. Like,
De
Macy's
Bla-
Kuwait. De Blasio.
De,
Macy's Kuwait.
De Blasio rate, and back in the I think it was 70s, right? 70s, early 80s. De Blasio raised money for the Sandinista.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like he's like a real communist.
Straight up commie. He's straight up commie.
Clinton.
But let's talk about his brother, Fredo.
Oh my God, Fredo.
Breaking news. Chris Cuomo has officially come out.
He's came out of the tomb after 3 days and 3 nights.
He has risen.
Oh my
Fredo
God.
Cuomo. And he's come to tell us that he's so happy. There's no other place he'd rather be. A little sweaty, but that's because he just worked out.
Oh God. Oh God.
Like, don't you just want to poke him in the eye?
I'm sure you got Corona sweat all over that basement, Fredo.
Cuomo Corona sweat. Gross.
That is funny.
Like, could you be more of a douchebag? Like, even when you coming out, supposedly, how many times do you think he rehearsed that walking up the stairs bit?
Oh man, they probably did that like 20, 30 times. Easy.
Did that look natural? Let me try it again.
It's got to look natural.
Gotta look good. Does it look good? Let me just do it again. One more time. What a dick. I find it interesting, though, that, okay, so the debate in Georgia is we're opening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we're opening to kill all of the Black people who they've already said are more susceptible to this virus and old? Or are you opening and you're just focused on the economy and money because you're white devil? These are actually what I read online.
Uh-huh.
And then you have business owners and you have people like myself out here in rural Northwest Georgia who don't really see the need for everyone to shelter in place when we really observe more like 50 feet of separation from anyone at any given time. Like maybe today, I think I saw like 6 people outside, but they keep getting in the golf carts and rolling around my cul-de-sac. I'm like, okay, never seen y'all before, but now you want to spread your virus this way. Like, just stay on your side of the neighborhood, but they don't, which is fine. But then if they're going to roll around the hood, they should just go back to work or whatever. Go shopping, go to a shopping mall and walk around, go to a park, go to do something with yourself. That doesn't require me seeing you during the day. That's why I moved out here, to be in the backyard with the trees and the birds and no people. They're messing up my Georgia plan. One of the issues that people have raised is, oh no, you're opening up the state. That means that people could travel now. They didn't shut down the airlines. You could still travel right now. You could book a flight right now. You could book a flight straight into Manhattan. Boop. You want to go JFK? They got flights right now. Jersey, they got flights right now. How does that stop anything? They're opening up the state so that people could open up their businesses and try to get work and income. Especially the businesses that didn't qualify or weren't able to get any of the PPP money, you know?
Well, they passed the Senate passed the measure for the new
the additional round.
Yeah, the additional round for the PPP money.
But when is that going to be given out? You know what I mean?
They're waiting for the House now, so they're saying that the House is going to pass it. Now, Nancy Pelosi, and this is what I said the other night. I said, okay, Nancy Pelosi. You see Trump up here doing all the damn heavy lifting, right? All this logistics. They're getting, mobilizing the private sector to make, masks, to make ventilators,
doing real work.
I mean, doing the real work, getting, making sure that the food supply isn't tampered with, or that we don't have an outbreak there. Even though right now it looks like Tyson is shutting down some of their pork operation. So Trump
Pork
is
is
doing
not
all
that good for you, anyways.
yeah. Trump is doing all these logistics, all this work. Him and Pence and the coronavirus task force. They're probably working like 20-something hour days. Nancy Pelosi adjourned the Congress. Senate's still in D.C. now. McConnell never left. Nancy Pelosi's ass is in San Francisco. Now, you're second in line for the presidency. If something happens to Trump or Pence, you're president. Now, Speaker of the House, you're sitting your ass at home in front of your $24,000 refrigerators in your $7 million mansion, and you're on TV talking about your gourmet ice cream. Are you kidding me? Gourmet ice cream?
They're removed from reality.
People
they are so
here
removed from what she probably thought that she was being personable.
Nah, not at all. She need to quit. Did you see that? Did you see the Trump campaign ad? They put it in an ad. It was brutal.
It was gold. It was golden. Like, they came up with that shit so fast. They're like, oh yeah, Nancy, you want to eat your ice cream, Nancy? We're going to tell everybody you eating your ice cream, giggling in your house. I mean.
Oh my God, that was campaign gold. I mean, that was a quick turnaround. I wish more Republicans do some stuff like that, man.
That's what everybody says. That's what everybody says. Like, it should be even on both sides going back and forth. But I don't care what either side says. All I care is I don't want to have these people looking at me twisted-eyed because either you're not wearing a mask that is ineffective, or you're in a location and they think you should be home. Or if I'm buying, curtains and paint and potting soil and doing different DIY projects in my house, I have plans, okay? I have plans that have been in the works for months and months and months since we moved here. I'm not going to stop my plans because Kelly down the corner thinks that I should stay home because she feels scared about getting coronavirus. I don't know you, lady. I don't plan to go to your house. I don't plan to drive by your house. I don't plan to bump that into you in the parking lot at a Walmart. Like, don't worry about it. Just stay away. You stay away and you won't have nothing to worry about. And even though the state is opening, nobody's forcing you out of your house. Just stay home.
That's what I said.
Inside. It's all good. We understand.
That's exactly what I said. People that are complaining about states and whatnot opening up, they do not have to come outside their homes.
It's very simple. It's called personal responsibility. If you know you too old, too sick, and too afraid to come outside of your house, don't do it. If you feel that you need a mask and gloves, then put on your mask and gloves. It's fine. Same thing I said from the beginning. If you wear a mask, you're just helping me to know that you probably got some shit I don't want to catch. So I won't pass by you in the aisle. I will go a little bit further around out my way to pick up the stuff that I need and keep it moving. It doesn't mean we all going to be hugging each other. It's totally fine. We don't have a handshake. I don't like people touching me anyways.
I don't like doing that church hug. That I hate that.
Okay, got it.
That's gonna be gone for good now. I'm thanking God for that.
Like it says 6 in the middle and like the two hands. Like,
turn to your neighbor and give him a hug in church. I'm like, that's over now, baby. Coronavirus, that's the silver lining for me in coronavirus. Not even, just
you just pounded a peace sign.
That's just faithful.
Like back in the day.
I don't want no hugs.
Like, I'm with you. Just
I
not
don't
that
want
close.
No damn hugs.
I mean, what I've noticed, which is, perfectly fine, is human behavior. I've noticed that it's very selective how people want to behave, right? So if they got to get something done, go pick something up, whatever, go finish doing projects and work or whatever they're working on, then it's okay for them not to socially distance because they got shit to do and they got to go pick things up and they got to get here, there, and the other. But when they're sitting in their house and they're looking out their window and they see a whole bunch of kids hanging out at the tennis courts or hanging out in the basketball area, then it's like, if your child is there, you should really pick them up. Really, lady? You know how many kids the parents told them, get the hell out of my house, you're being annoying, and go do something else with yourself. Yeah. You know how many domestic violence cases there are, how many child abuse cases there are right now, increased more than people infected, So more people are being beat up and abused by staying stuck in their house than are being infected with coronavirus. How many drugs? All the people popping pills. Yeah. Because everybody's scaring them online. Yeah. They Facebook and they're like, oh shit, give me a Xanax. I need some this. I need some that. Yeah. Oh, wow. And that's just regular prescriptions. Not even talking about the other drugs that people might be on. Wow. Wow. That's I didn't even think about that. I can only think about the other types of patients that aren't getting treated in these hospitals, because of the stats. Imagine if you had a hip replacement surgery, you've been waiting forever. You got to go through all these approvals. You got to get this doctor, that doctor, finally your insurance, you're all set. And they're like, nah, we can't take patients. Okay, so you don't want people to get elective surgeries, even though it might be surgeries that make a humongous difference to the quality of life that they live. You don't want them to have that. God forbid you say anything about a plastic surgery, like that's absolute no. And then you shut down parts of the hospital. So you let go of workers because you don't need them in that part of the hospital. You're only addressing COVID patients, but there aren't enough COVID patients to keep your hospital running. So now the hospital's losing money. The hospital workers are losing money. And then you see nurses online doing TikTok videos. Like that's cute. I'm like, okay, so you don't like the protesters, but if you blow up some equipment, put it in your pants and shake it to Jenny Big Booty, J-Lo's Big Booty video, that's perfectly okay. That's perfectly okay. I'm like, I don't care either way. I thought the TikTok videos were kind of funny. But then don't bitch and complain about the other people on the other side, Like everybody needs to blow off steam. Yeah. I'd imagine they need it. It's probably stressful. Yeah, what they're going through. Yeah. Week 9. Shit is getting real. It's gotta be stressful. So I definitely feel for the people that are working and treating the patients, but then you have some people that are working in the hospitals that are getting laid off temporarily. Yeah. And, it's got to be frustrating all the way around. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to do it this way. Like, you're creating a situation that is more painful than the original situation you were trying to avoid. I think what's going to happen is going forward, these hospital systems, especially the larger systems, they're just going to have to build in pandemic response into their model, into their business model, because we can't wait until an actual pandemic is here in order to respond to it. They have to make it so that they can, all of these people that are on the sidelines that are being laid off, they could be help treating some of these patients as well. One reason that Kemp actually stated that we needed to get back to normal was for that. Like, the hospital systems have been caught up with what they need to handle an increase of COVID-related patients. So They've built up their stockpile, their equipment, and they have the personnel who will be ready to address an increased number, which is why we all got quarantined, was because if we didn't and things just continued to spread, it would be too much for the hospitals to handle. Okay, let's just say that sounds reasonable. So now we're at the point where they feel they know how the virus is spreading, and we can now accommodate those people because we have enough equipment, enough beds, enough personnel. So let's open things up. And the other thing people are not recognizing is that Georgia really didn't close that much down. Like, you think that everything stopped? Like, no, nothing stopped. I still go to Home Depot and Walmart. It's more inconvenient at this point, but none of those stores are closed. The only stores that are closed, or the shops that are closed, are the spa, like the salon that I work at. They do massage, they do tans, they do, I do microblading. Aside from that, those are places that normally have higher consideration for hygiene because you deal with people's flesh. You know what I mean? Do I necessarily want to start tattooing people's faces? Nah. But that's my prerogative, When I work on someone, I always have a mask, I always have gloves, and then I have a bib on them. So the likelihood of cross-contamination is lower. But at this point right now, would I want to be slicing into someone's face? No, probably.
Yeah.
Wait a little bit longer, if that's necessary. But there's other things that could open. I know people who are cutting hair.
Yeah. My barber came to my house.
You see? So what's the difference?
Yeah.
What's the difference? They have people rolling around, serving food, serving this, serving that. What's the difference? You're just doing it in kind of like a they making you sneak the barber to your house, basically. Like, yo, knock 3 times, stomp on the floor. Then I'll let you in. Make sure nobody sees you. Like, they got us like hiding people out and shit. It's ridiculous. If you want to have a haircut, you should be able to have a haircut. And he could wear a mask. You could wear a mask. You could hold your breath during the time. I don't know. You can figure it out.
Check out this headline, Kat, from The Hill. This is just saying, state governments face financial abyss with coronavirus.
Yeah. That's what happens when 23 million people are unemployed and you wipe out businesses, small businesses from everywhere in America. Unless you had money, saved up, which most people don't. Most people live paycheck. Well, 22 million of them live paycheck to paycheck, which is why they're all on unemployment line, the unemployment list. Like, what do you expect is going to happen? What most people are not saying right now is that, let's say you have your home and for 3 months you don't have to pay your mortgage or whatever. You don't have to pay whatever fees. What happens after that when things start to normalize, but you still don't have a job?
Yeah, that's possible.
So now, what are the banks going to start foreclosing in 3 months on all these people's homes? You know what I mean? Even if you open up, how are you going to catch up on 3 months worth of payments and bills and try to get your life, back on track? And you're still going to have your kid at home.
You'll still have your home bills.
Yeah, you're not going to have daycares just yet. You still got everything. Is just now you're 3 months, 4 months in the rear with no job security. So you can't even say okay, in 3 months, at least my job will kick in again and I'll have some money coming in. That's not going to happen. And it's nice to get $1,200. I, by the way, have not gotten my $1,200. I'm just saying. It's a nice concept and whatnot, but I haven't received it. So it was because we moved
Mm-hmm.
So we're no longer in New York, we're in Georgia, and it's kind of one of those loopholes where
Yeah, maybe.
now
Yeah,
you have to file a form because you're no longer living in that state, you're in this state, and blah, 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 whatever. That's my
probably.
husband, he can figure it out.
You said that's his job, right?
That's his job, babe. You got it, right? Okay. Hand me my $100 when it comes in, boo. I want to get a golf cart.
You're
Thinking
funny.
about buying some computers.
You're funny. You're funny.
Well, I mean, I still got my projects that I was working on.
Mm-hmm.
I still had things I wanted to accomplish, and I'm not trying to stop it because, things got off track. You just need to learn how to pivot. But oh, look, we got people watching. What are you people doing up this time? It is 12:38. And I got to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, the Daily Star. I just saw an alert on the Daily Star. New coronavirus outbreak in northern China. China puts
New or continuous?
new coronavirus
Let's
outbreak.
keep it real. It's continuous. China allowed people to move around. They had it there first. There is no way that everybody died who had the virus, especially if they're saying asymptomatic. I'm still not convinced on that.
Mm-hmm.
Asymptomatic, because that means everybody stay in because you're all contagious, but you just don't know it.
They're saying it's a second wave, but
Yeah,
just never
but
know.
how do you know that it's not the just a continuing of the first wave?
That's true. This is very true, Kat.
You can't believe nothing from them. Oh, did we state for the record though that I was actually right about the numbers? I will pull up I will get my post date stamps and everything. I love it when I'm right. I just want you to tell me that I'm right. If you trust that I'm right, then everything will go good.
They were inflating the numbers.
It's so much better if you just believe that I'm right when I tell you what I'm telling you. Everybody said in the first week, oh, we're going to get back to normal. You're being crazy. I'm like, no, nothing's going to be normal. Nothing is going to be normal. And look, is anything going to be normal after this shit? Nope.
They're cooking the books.
I said, April 18th. What we at today? April
23rd.
Okay, almost a week ago. What makes anyone believe that the first people who started getting sick were the first to be infected? I bet that most people, the majority of the population, have already had this run through them. But we won't know because they're not going to get sick. They're not going to have symptoms, right? 80%. This is what they told us from jump. 80%. Mm-hmm. So what makes anyone believe? And then I had this really smart doctor, and I'm being cynical. I had this really smart doctor break it down. He mansplained me how it's in the math. And if you have this many people infected, that means you have this many people with that. And that's sweet and dandy and all. But how do you know what your original number is starting at? Where is your starting point? How do you know the bottom of the curve is the bottom of the curve and not the middle of the curve?
Yeah.
They just made that shit up. They
put it
on the calendar and were like, okay, this is the start date. Like, no, that's when the first person died, which means it must have started way before that, which means if it made it from China to Washington and Seattle,
mm-hmm.
and then hopped over all the United States, hopped over every state in between, and just landed in New York, New Jersey, and killed everybody over there.
Mm-hmm.
How is that possible? Of course it circulated. But no, the number, it's in the math and the numbers. So what happened? Mm-hmm. Ron Paul comes out and he says, post my input, that actually the numbers are probably 55 times, 55 times the amount that they're reporting is infected.
Wow. In China.
55 times.
That's crazy.
That half of us already got it. Didn't even know it and kept it pimping for how long? Could have been since November, could have been since October. They don't know when it started. They talking about a lab. I want to double check on that lab too. I'm not fully buying the Wuhan lab. I think they infected somebody. I don't think it got out by accident.
You heard it here. Goodness.
I don't know that it was accidental. They had an uprising, okay? Where was the uprising in China? They had people marching in the streets, protesting against the government, like, what, a week before the shit broke out?
Hong Kong, yeah.
But it was an accident?
Yeah.
It's a little too convenient, that accident. Not that I'm trying to be a conspiracy theory, but I'm just putting shit together. That's all. Just putting it together. Here's dot and there's dot. Those dots look like they might work together. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
You know what I mean, man?
I know what you mean. You're not Alex Jones, but you're just saying.
That's why I was like, you should just do what Alex Jones. I'm like, I'm going off my intuition. Which, if you ever watch my tarot readings, are fairly strong. So it doesn't take a conspiracy. I'm just telling you what looks like is happening in the real world. So the fear mongering, I already said from the beginning, week 1, shit is gonna get real because people have never been in this situation. They don't like who they are. They don't know who they are. And now you're forcing them to be in home by themselves, or worse, with their family, who they probably haven't gotten to know in this way for this amount of time and forever. Because we in our, 50, 60-hour work week.
Yeah.
Kids are in school.
Yeah.
Even your friends or whatever, you see them, Friday? So what are you going to do? Lock yourself in your room and not come out till Friday? Like, this is about how much of you I can take.
Yeah.
You got
Seriously.
to start reinventing the family dynamics, reinventing your friendship dynamics. How many people lost friends week 3? Yo, don't come to my house because you might be infected. Sorry, but you're not invited to cross my threshold anymore. That was before stay shelter in place orders. All right.
Yeah, wow.
So
that's funny.
Damage is being done in very many ways, not just being sick. You could be isolated, lonely. Not many lonely people. Bendito. I feel so bad for them. All the people who are already stuck. The one thing they had was like walking around the neighborhood. And now they'll get side-eyed. They'll be pariahs of the neighborhood if they come out.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Oh, wow. Definitely. What do you, have you been paying attention to the Drudge Report?
I pay attention to everything, honey.
A lot of people are giving Matt Drudge a lot of flack. What's going on there?
Because he was criticizing Trump.
Is that really it? I mean, I could kind of understand some criticism.
I mean, you're talking about two people with big egos. I see a whole bunch of stuff on Drudge Report, and I'm just like, really? Did this have to make it onto onto your page? Like, this shit is annoying.
I know. I heard a little excerpt on Mark Levin. I think it was yesterday. Was it today or yesterday? And Mark Levin said, "Yeah, Matt Drudge. He's married now to CNN, basically." So I really never noticed the difference whenever I go to Drudge. I just pick a few things.
Yeah.
To kind of see what's going on, but I never really noticed any trends. Now, if you go to Breitbart, they're definitely pro-Trump there.
Yeah.
Breitbart. I mean, they'll criticize them on Breitbart too, but they're definitely, Breitbart is definitely anti, mainstream media. anti-liberal media. They're definitely not, you know, they're not anti-Trump there. That's really a friendly site for them. But I'm surprised at Matt Drudge in the Drudge Report for a lot of the things that they've been posting. So I didn't notice any trends. I just really started looking at it, but
Well, I would just like to state also for the record, even though it is almost 1 o'clock in the morning, I would like to state also for the record, I watch all this stuff, right? So most people won't watch CNN, NBC, all that. I watch all Fox Business News, MSNBC. I'm on all day. There's clips. I listen to Rush for a few hours. I listen to Hannity talk for a few hours. I listen to Trump do his speech. I listen to all the pundits give their afterthoughts of what he said, what they said, and then I make my assessment of, do they actually have the story that I want to hear? So you will see in the briefing, they ask the same stupid questions. And it's like, okay, we get it. You don't like the man, and this is your gotcha question. But this is not the information I'm interested in receiving. I want to know what is happening from these points of view, And they just miss the mark all the time. Same thing with people who write their opinion pieces, totally miss the mark. I don't care. Who's talking about oil? Who's talking about what's happening in Iran? Who's talking about what's happening in Russia right now? Who's talking about what's happening in Mexico? Who's talking about the massive shooting in Canada? Like, people don't know. People don't know any other news except how to be angry or scared of COVID. Which, if you get it, most likely is not going to do anything to you. Most likely, if you knew someone who had it, you probably got it too, because the air travels everywhere.
A lot of the
You better not be coughing.
Well, I'm having it's sinus season for me, so my throat and my nose are just.
Well, that's why they're saying that we got to stay in for 18 months. 18 months? Can you believe that shit?
That would destroy the country. Are you kidding?
Destroy people's minds.
Yeah.
New York, you got to remember, which is being hit the hardest, has apartments that are literally 400 square feet. If you're lucky, your apartment is 400 square feet. I don't know what the size of jail cells are, but it can't be much smaller than that. That's like enough room for a bed, a little kitchenette, stovetop thing, a fridge. That's it.
Yeah.
How are people supposed to live in those conditions?
Yeah. I had a buddy of mine who lived on 30th and Park some years ago, and he had this apartment was like small, man. It was about 400 square feet. It was really small. And then it not only was it small, it had a low roof.
Oh,
it was like, what the heck? Like a coffin. Like, what in the world is this, Eric? It's like.
And then they put these asinine restrictions on how you can walk through a store. So they have lines going across the tape, right? Which guides you. You could walk this way, but you can't go that way. And I saw a meme. People were standing 6 feet behind each other, right? But the machines, the ATM machines that they were using were like 2 feet apart. So it's like, well, I'm glad coronavirus can't fly sideways, only front and back.
I saw that meme. I thought that was stupid.
Funny. They put in these measures that don't make sense for what they're trying to accomplish. And everyone goes along with it because you don't know what you don't know. So you just follow what the store does without questioning, why are you doing this? Like, I need to get something right there. Normally I could just walk right there and get out. But now you're making me trace across the whole store in this winding mess that it does not save anybody from anything at all.
This is The Cure.